I knew I hated this fan and light fixture above me, but now I hate it even more. Like it's even uglier on camera, but too late. There's nothing I can do about it now. Before we get into what I'm actually going to talk about, I'm dying to know this, and I know none of my diehard fans, despite how much I love y'all, actually listen to The Weeknd, but I'm going to give it a whirl, okay, just in case it might work. There's this Weeknd song that has been bugging me. I've been trying to find it desperately. It's not on Dawn FM, I can tell you that much. But it goes like this: do, 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 and then the song lyrics, I don't remember the lyrics, I'm sorry. If I did, then I would fucking be able to look up the song. But the lyrics sound like this. I can't figure out what song that is. That's been bugging me. I've been trying to friggin' figure it out. I can't do it. So if you know what that song is, that's how it starts, okay? Do, 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 do. Please tell me in the comments. Anyway, I finally watched the new Snow White on Disney Plus recently, and now we get to talk about it. What's interesting is I watched a different movie prior to that because I hadn't seen it in quite a while. I think I've only seen it 3 times. I saw it in the theater when I was a child, and then I saw it like maybe during COVID, and then I watched it again recently. What's crazy is, actually, I watched it because I went to a record store and I found this, and the owner was like, "Oh, you can have that." The owner of the store was like, "Take it." This is not a record. It is a laser disc. Isn't that cool? Guess what, children? I'm going to open this. I don't know if it's ever been opened. Before we had DVDs, we had this attempted thing at home video called a laser disc. I'm throwing that out. I don't need that. Look at this. We watched one movie on Laserdisc when I was in middle school. They had a Laserdisc player too, which is crazy. This is the disc, which is wild. I've never even looked at this. And I also don't have a Laserdisc player, but this is still cool. Wow. This is so much like, look at you. Wow, beautiful. So much like a record. But it's a Laserdisc. Let me read this. Oh, this is so cool. Okay. Oh, side 1. Oh, you have to turn it over. That's a bummer. Got the regular warnings on here. Yep, 1994 Don Bluth Group of Companies. 86 minutes. That is not how long Snow White was. But interestingly enough, this movie had some of the same issues that Snow White had. But not many of the same issues, because this is animated, and Don Bluth, unlike whoever the fuck produced, wrote, and made this movie, knew what he was doing, but I digress. So, where do I begin? Well, first of all, let me just tell you what I know about Rachel Zegler. And second of all, let's not hate on her as much as everyone has been hating on her. She did, in fact, make a fool of herself in these, I think it was one interview. She made a goddamn fool of herself. But isn't she 21? So who's surprised? Not me. But we're gonna actually get into why that even happened to begin with. Because there's somewhat of an interesting backstory. So I don't know where it was that she was discovered, but she can sing and she can dance. She's a better singer than a dancer. I actually honestly really like her singing voice. And she can act. And I don't know where it was, but apparently Steven Spielberg himself saw her somewhere and saw her doing her thing somewhere and was like, I'm going to hire that girl. Your chances of that happening are quite literally less than 1 in a million. But it is possible, right? It is possible, and it happened to her. And she was lucky enough to be cast in that newer version of West Side Story, which I'm not going to watch and I don't care to watch because that was kind of poppin'. That was like a poppin' musical, you know, in the 50s. I actually really do like I think that musical, the movie musical, was made in 1964, I want to say. It was more relevant at that time, but it is currently no longer relevant. I'm sure high schools can do it. I don't care about that. But anyway, he hired her for this movie that he directed, for this musical that he directed and or produced. I don't know. He's mostly up to producing these days. But I was like, wow, that's pretty significant. Okay, we're going to come back to that. I will circle back to that. I promise you. I'm not trying to make this movie 25 plus minutes long. Anyway, I watched the movie. I truly did mean to watch it in theaters. But my husband's like, I'm not fucking watching that in theaters. I'm not paying money for that. And, you know, understandable. And unfortunately, it takes fucking forever to get anywhere in Vegas because you have to drive your car. And I just didn't get around to it when it was in the theater. So I missed it. Anyway, I finally watched it the other day. And there were a lot of issues with it. First of all, it was too fucking long. I think it was over 2 hours long. I don't know what is wrong with everyone making kids movies. I understand there's, you know, gonna be like some, obviously they're trying to appeal to adults here, but don't make a fucking 2 hour movie for kids. I don't know how many times I have to say this in my videos, but apparently I have to say it every single fucking movie review I do that is about a kid's movie. This is 86 minutes long, okay? That is 1 hour and 26 minutes. And you actually subtract about 10 minutes, so that's more like 1 hour, 16 minutes. The perfect time for a child to watch and be able to pay attention, right? Kids actually lose attention very quickly, okay? That's why a lot of kids love these, you know, now it's even worse. But in this era, Don Bluth was smart enough to know kids ain't gonna watch a 2 hour movie. Ain't happening, okay? So that's why this is 1 hour, 16 minutes long, just about, maybe even less than that, because you have to do really long credits for animated movies. But anyway, this movie was way too fucking long, first of all. Second of all, in just about every single Disney movie, we get a, what is it called? I don't want to call it Hero's Journey, but for every single Disney movie that's a musical, right, and that's for kids, right, we get a song that's the main character saying, I want adventure in the great new somewhere. I wanted more than I can tell. That's Belle. We get, Aladdin actually originally had a longer one, but they ended up editing it out. But we get Riff Raff, Street Rat. I don't buy that. If only they'd look closer, would they see a poor boy? No siree. I know the whole thing. They'd find out there's so much more to me. Anyway, I'm saying we get this song that's the main character saying he or she wants a change in their life, right? So this song, I am not kidding you. I don't know the title of the song. I'm not looking up the title of the song. I swear to God, I think this song for Snow White was 7 minutes long. If it wasn't 7 minutes long, it was 5 minutes long. If it wasn't 5 minutes long, it was 4.5 minutes long, okay? This is the longest song I think I've ever seen in a Disney movie in my entire life, all right? And I've watched Song of the South, baby. So this was a really fucking long song. So I was like, what the hell is going on here? If it wasn't that long, it certainly felt that long. But every song was really fucking long. I timed it, okay? Every song was at least 5 minutes or longer. You know what? After that, I took 20 Disney songs and I figured out that the average length for a Disney song, probably including these in all seriousness, because Don Bluth was real influenced by Mr. Walt himself. Every single song, okay, the average length for a Disney movie song is, can you guess? 3 minutes, 21 seconds. That's the perfect length for a song. That's a hair longer. Songs now, like pop songs now, are around 3 minutes, okay? Like 4 minutes if you're getting real crazy, but it's gonna be cut up for the radio edit if it's on the radio. But anyway, these songs in this movie were so long. And I was like shocked, okay, at how long these songs were, because they just kept fucking going. It was bothering me. What else happened? So I've been a little sick, in case y'all can't tell. A little cold virus. I'm still getting over it. But yeah. These songs were incredibly long. I'm sorry, my throat is really dry right now. I should have brought a cough drop. I should have brought a cough drop over here. Too late. Bummer. Super long songs. Super, honestly, exhaustive shots. Giant, wide shots with, I am not kidding you, upwards of 50 people in every shot for the dance songs. And I was like, that's a lot. Anyway. You could tell this movie was kind of a mess. You could tell that they had to like go in post and rearrange things and paste things back together. And like, if I was a kid, I probably wouldn't notice it, but I think anyone probably over age like 15 could probably tell that was happening. And I was like, wow, this is a lot. Okay. For the PR of this movie, they showed the 7 dwarves, which were 6 average height people, with one little person like thrown in there, that they were just going to use like camera angles to make them look shorter. But once they were like, oh no, we should have used little people, or once they were like, oh no, I guess these can't be our 7 dwarves, they like backtracked, made them this group of thieves or whatever. They used a more eloquent word in the movie. I can't remember what it was. This I think it was group of thieves that Prince Charming happened to be a part of. I guess he wasn't a real prince. That was kind of confusing. There was just so much going on in this movie. I was like, what? Okay, what really bothered me, first of all, Dopey is my guy. I fucking love Dopey in the original Snow White. He is so cute. He has the best colors of any dwarf, in my opinion. And he's fun. He also doesn't talk. He doesn't talk at all. Okay? And it actually really pissed me off because we're going to talk about little people in a moment, but it really pissed me off because Snow White found the 7 dwarves, and then some chaos slapstick bullshit ensued that didn't happen in the animated movie, by the way. And then it ended with all 6 of the dwarves gang up on Dopey and being like, haha, Dopey, you're so fucking stupid. Like, they obviously didn't use that language, but like, that's basically what happened. And I was like, wow, this never happened in the original Snow White, not the original animated movie, and not the story. All the dwarves were like, advocating for each other. They loved each other. They were each other's bros. And this was like out of line making fun of Dopey. Okay? And then Snow White was like, oh, Dopey, I'm here for you. And at first he was, and they established that he didn't talk. And I was like, okay, cool. That's accurate to the story. But then later they made it so that he did talk. And not only did he talk, he spoke perfectly. And I was like, that's not a good way to deal with disability, because they're depicting him having been nonverbal or just not talking, and then he just magically is able to talk, and like everything's cool, and all the other dwarves were like, oh, and I was like, this is so stupid. Anyway, okay. I don't know why more people weren't upset about little people not being hired to be the dwarves. Because, yeah, those CGI dwarves looked like shit, for sure. But, like, and people were really mad about the dumb shit that Rachel Zegler said in that one interview. But I'm like, fam, I'm over here angry that there aren't dwarves in this movie. Like, what in the hell? What in the hell? I don't know if y'all have seen Willow, but that movie is dope. And that movie is full of dwarfs. Sorry, it's full of little people. Okay? I think some of them don't mind being called dwarfs. Fam, if I were little, I'd be called a dwarf every day. But anyway, I would prefer to be called a dwarf because that's dope. But beside the point, that pissed me off a lot. And it should have pissed off more people. Like, everyone was all mad about Rachel Zegler, and everyone was all mad. First of all, I back the fuck up. First of all, Walt Disney himself said, I never want you to remake this movie. I never want there to be a sequel to this movie. And I never want there to be any other Snow White, anything ever again. Because this is it forever. I'm pretty sure that was actually like somehow written into the copyright because it's been aged out. They were like, Disney was like, fuck it, we were making this shit, fam, and defied their original creators' wishes, which is extremely rude. Okay? I honestly wish that Disney would start re-releasing movies the way that they used to. I didn't know this, but they used to re-release movies every 7 years. They would like rehash Sleeping Beauty, rehash Alice in Wonderland, rehash. They weren't doing it by the 90s. A sad day, but like that was like, bro, dope. And they kind of did it with like the Disney Vault thing, but they're not doing that anymore. Maybe it's a copyright issue, but I don't know. Anyway, the musical numbers were way too long for this movie. Rachel Zegler was actually, honestly, arguably good in this movie. I felt like the color mixing and the costume was kind of off, though. Like, her dress in the movie, her yellow and blue dress in the movie is so pretty and cool, and hers just looked like shit. It looked like campy AF. It looked like a really good, like, cosplaying dress. Like, not an actually professionally made one, but anyway. Songs are too long. We had a messed up plot line because they had to go back and refigure things after the fact. And in all seriousness, we had Rachel Zegler fucking up online and saying stupid shit in interviews and things of that nature. Not really in interviews, but she was saying stupid shit on her Twitter. I don't know, I wasn't following it terribly closely, but what I do know what happened was, at one point, she was saying something, and apparently some producer or someone from the movie, right, had to fly all the way the fuck from New York to LA in a weekend to go find Rachel Zegler and be like, hey, you gotta chill out on the social media because you're making a fool of yourself and you're making a fool of us. That's bad. However, is anyone surprised that she behaved that way, given the fact that she defied quite literally everyone's expectations by having a less than a 1 in a million chance thing happen to her by being discovered by Steven Spielberg? And there was this one scene in the movie, I know it's a movie, okay, but like, how can this not go to your head, okay? By the end of the movie, there was this giant set made with, like I said, probably over 100 extras, probably over 100 actors in the scene, She was singing along, with everyone behind her. How could that not go to her head? This is a 21-year-old woman, okay? I don't know if that's how old she is, but she's very young. So those things happened, went to her head, and she understandably didn't really behave that well. Maybe you want to start hiring older women, Disney, to play certain characters if you're concerned about that. We're almost at 20 minutes. Rough. Let me just tell you about the songs. Something about the songs. And this is the same issue I had with this movie, even though this movie is arguably better than the new Snow White. But I'll tell you, I think Barry Manilow did the songs for this, which is cool. So what's so cool about all of the Disney, Barry Manilow and Jack Feldman and Bruce Sussman. Music by William Ross and Barry Manilow. Yeah. Okay, so what's so this movie and Snow White, what I was saying about the Disney Renaissance movies, all of those songs, okay? Prince Ali, Be Our Guest, Reflection, Whole New World, the opening song from Hercules, Part of Your World, what's the other Belle song? Beauty and the Beast, right? All those songs are so singable. I'm telling you, they're so easy to sing. The lyrics are so easy to remember. I honestly, you guys, I'm not kidding you. There have been multiple times in my life where I've heard someone sing a Disney song in public, and I sing the next line. I don't know that person. I was at this national park in Colorado on the top of a fucking mountain. So unsurprisingly, someone else on the top of the mountain sang, "Na Shibenya." I was right there. So I said, "Bebagitsi bobo, hetanao yao." It's easy to sing, right? That's from Lion King. Easy to sing songs are key, are something you want, are something to strive for. Not cool songs, not interesting songs, not really well-written songs. I would honestly argue that the songs from Encanto were not that singable. They're good songs, but they're not super singable. This one and Snow White, songs not that singable. They did a good job. They're good songs for a musical, but I'm saying you want to keep these songs simple, rhyming, easy melody. I watched a documentary about Alan Menken, and who wrote all the Disney Renaissance movie songs, okay? And he said that he would always make a point, and the reason he's so fucking good at what he did, R.I.P. my guy, was he did off-Broadway shows, okay? So he knew how to make a good show for a limited audience, for a smaller audience, right? He would find an actress or actor who was good at singing. They were like better at acting, but they were like good at singing. Oh my God. Okay, I'm gonna rephrase it properly. He would hire an actress who could sing and not a singer who could act. All right? Because that way you get the songs in a much more singable range, and it's easier for everyone. And why the fuck wouldn't you want singable songs? Like, that's what you want in a kids movie. Hello, these songs are a little too complicated. Thumbelina wears the coolest dress I've ever seen on any kind of animated character during the Gilbert Gottfried song. But that song is cool, but like ain't one you can sing, mate. Another time I was at a coffee shop, and who's here? Someone saying, he feeds the galloping hordes, and I said, 100 bad guys with swords. This is Bobakin. Oh no, this is Pirate. Sorry, I get my black cats confused sometimes. Anyway, what was cool, I'll tell you something that was cool, is that I was watching this movie, and my mother-in-law happened to be walking by, and she heard, because there was a song happening, and she's like, oh, there's Disney. She was right. So it was very clearly, recognizably Disney, which is cool, but... Sorry. It ain't good enough. You gotta make it better, right? You have to make it top notch. You have to, like... okay, I'm gonna say this. You want to try to make it like the movies we already know to be successful. I know people want to put their own spin on things. Barry Manilow did put his own spin on things for this movie, which was cool. And what was actually kind of fun about Thumbelina was that some of the songs and just the general language that was used was like a little bit more Old English, which I thought was cool. But he's Danish, though. Isn't Hans Christian Andersen isn't he Danish? I can't remember. Listen, this movie was all right. It was okay. I think that a child would like it, but I don't know what a child does. Do children like 2-hour-long movies? Do they? If a child were to watch this, I think he or she may like it, but I don't really know people who like watch Disney movies who aren't film fanatics like me. I don't really, and they're also not Disney adults. So again, I will ask the question again. Who was this movie made for? Was it made for kids? No. The answer is no, if it's a 2-hour plus long movie. Sorry. No, it wasn't made for kids. Was it made for Disney adults? Not really. I feel like Disney adults really like pre-existing movies. I feel like that's kind of their thing. Is to like not the new... I mean, I don't really think anyone likes the live-action Disney movies that much, in all seriousness. I don't know how to tell you that. But let me tell you, I watched Watcher in the Woods on YouTube. I don't know if it's still there, but like that was one of the least successful Disney movies ever, and it was actually pulled from theaters because it did so poorly, and it was live action. I think it came out in 1980, maybe late 70s. Damn, that movie was dope. I would honestly, I've really been thinking about rewriting that movie, like, and revamping it, because if it came out today, it'd be cool. See, now I'm doing the thing that other Disney movies have done, continue to do, which is, I'm having so much fun on camera. It's already been 28 minutes. Probably going to get to 30 in all seriousness. But you don't want to do that when you're making a kids movie. You also don't want to hire a young pup that needs extensive media training in order to not fuck it up, because unfortunately I think that people were more upset about Rachel Zegler saying stupid shit on camera than they were about Disney not hiring dwarves. And I personally have a problem with that. Sorry, not hiring little people. Like, how is that not a problem? How's that not okay? This is the perfect opportunity to hire them, and they just skipped it. Oh my gosh, there's a movie I'm thinking of, and I can't remember the title, so I'm gonna have to ask you know who. Alexa, can you name some Terry Gilliam movies?
I know about 130 13 Terry Gilliam movies including 12 Monkeys, Monty Python and the Holy Grail, Monty Python's Life of Brian, Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, and Stranger Than Fiction.
Alexa, what's the Terry Gilliam movie with a magic microwave?
From Metacritic.com. In short, Imaginarium is a Terry Gilliam movie and it's a mess, which over the years have come to mean much the same thing.
Okay, that's not even it. But now I have to look it up because it's gonna bug me if I don't tell you. Anyway, there's this Terry Gilliam movie I watched as a kid and it was totally dope and it had a bunch of little people in it and it was awesome. I would watch that right now if I knew what it was called. Terry Gilliam movie. Wow, this is really bothering me. Time Bandits. Jesus Christ. Oh my god, that I should know that. Time Bandits. That's a really fucking cool movie starring a bunch of dwarves. Starring a bunch of little people. Thank you for watching. I think this has gone on long enough. If you like movies with really long-winded songs, go ahead and watch Disney's Snow White.